This is going to be a look at some Jared Goff film from the Lions' 34-20 win over the Packers on Thursday Night Football. I haven't done a video on Jared Goff or Lamar Jackson, for that matter, the two teams, the Ravens and the Lions, that I tend to cover on this YouTube channel for a lot of reasons. I feel like the quarterback analysis market is kind of saturated. There's somewhat too much analysis at times, but the way Goff threw the football at times on Thursday night, I thought needed to be covered, at least by me. I've been kind of saving some of this stuff. I do have two other throws from other games I kind of like to include, but I don't want this video to be too long. I do previews for the Ravens games on weekends, so my Saturday morning preview was a kind of long one to record late here Friday night, but the defense has gotten a lot of attention. Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Sam LaPorta, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, sometimes he's kind of like an afterthought because you just expect Amon-Ra St. Brown to do amazing things. Jared Goff had some great throws, a lot of them on third downs. I'm a big fan of how Josh Reynolds is playing. Marvin Jones was brought in, and now looking at what Josh Reynolds is doing, he's kind of made him, I don't even know how needed he is at this point, with Jameson Williams coming back as well. And I think Marvin Jones has some talent, but Josh Reynolds continues to make plays. Let's get to some of the film. We're going to start. It certainly didn't start off good, right, for Jared Goff. This is the interception on the first possession, and it's on a 3rd and 12. I feel like the Packers were really looking for him to target Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're going to see a couple of examples here later on where they're kind of jumping Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's up at the top of the screen. And I think you've got a deeper in. It's a little deeper route than that, actually. And then another under by LaPorta, so you got kind of like a high-low. Forgive me for that. It's a little bit deeper to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And LaPorta, kind of like a high-low over the middle. And this is the guy on the backside who's going to get the pick. Certainly Gibbs would be a guy that maybe you'd want to get the ball to here, but 30 is reading Goff. So as soon as he sees Goff getting ready to pull the pin on the grenade, he's breaking. And he's breaking on this route by Amon-Ra St. Brown here. So it's a 3rd and 12. You don't want to get in those positions in the first place in the NFL. Give NFL defenses a chance to just stare at your quarterback. And in this case, the Packers took advantage. But from there, he was lights out. This is second drive. And this is a 3rd and 5. Man coverage. Sam LaPorta is something from another place. He beat Quay Walker on an amazing catch later on. Here he is beating a DB on a 3rd and 5. It's a great throw by Goff. I'll give you the end zone angle. He also blocked Quay Walker on 2 plays last night. Like, you're talking about a guy who can beat NFL level DBs in man coverage in contested catch situations, overpower them in some instances, and he can block inside linebackers. There's levels of athleticism, and I think Sam LaPorta's has been underrated, at least by myself, to be honest with you. He just continues every week to do stuff like this. 35-yard catch, on a 3rd and 5. It's a sick throw by Goff. I mean, he's certainly looking there. Maybe this ball could be, here. So maybe it's a 1.5 feet more towards LaPorta's body, whereas you'd want it towards the sideline. Great contest by 29. LaPorta makes the catch. I mean, why wouldn't you trust this guy at this point? Believe it or not, that's the second best catch he had on Thursday night. Very next play, Amon-Ra St. Brown here down at the bottom. Snag and go concept, but it's like a snag and spin. Again, they're paying attention to Amon-Ra St. Brown, they being the Packers defense. A snag concept. This is empty. Very similar formation to the one on the interception, except Amon-Ra St. Brown's down here. Snag would be like an angled hook and a flat. Sometimes you get a snag and maybe a wheel. And then sometimes you get some people call it a jerk concept. You get a snag and then go up the hash. But that's not what Amon-Ra St. Brown does. He does the snag and then spins this way out of it. Pretty cool. Very rarely seen, if you ask me. And then this DB's going to jump it. And it's over. They had somebody on the broadcast indicated that that was a design play. They knew they were going to get that. I mean, yeah, maybe they know that the Packers jump snag stuff, but it was the 1st and 10. So it's not like there's any reason to say, hey, it's 3rd and 4, so we know the DB's going to jump that short concept. Hopefully I said that in a way that makes sense. But came right back on that second drive. Jared Goff just ripped them up, and he just kept it going. 3rd drive, this is going to be another empty. This is to Reynolds. High-low concept, again, you get basically two sit routes in the middle of the field by LaPorta and Brown, using their LaPorta and St. Brown, I should say, using their gravity to help Reynolds get open as the outside receiver. LaPorta's the point man, going to kind of sit down here. Brown kind of sits down here, and then Reynolds is going to run over the top of it. And I think the announcers kind of covered this well. Look, you got to get time to do some of this stuff, right, in the NFL. You got to have time. So, yeah, there's people who are going to say, well, it's a totally clean pocket. Goff already sees the safety. He's just started to pull the pin on the grenade. Some people would say, this is an anticipation throw. It's just a read, man. It's just a read. He's reading how the defense reacts. He sees the safety jump. Guess what? St. Brown's route throws the over the top to Reynolds, and Reynolds is playing at really high level, if you ask me. I think that's a really underrated player for this Lions team right now, but I think that's Darnell Savage, I believe, jumping down on St. Brown. But again, it's 3rd and 3, so you can understand that. Goff hits him over the top. Cool stuff. Like I said, that was 3rd drive. 4th drive, I mean, this is a 1st and 10, under center to Josh Reynolds. This is called throwing this in a place where, you know, your guy can go get it. I think it's a one-handed catch by Reynolds. Like, this is a guy who, to me, is exploding on the scene, making play. There's just so many guys who can get the ball. You're not going to target him 8 or 10 times a game. There's just so many guys who are worthy of getting the football. I'll show you the end zone angle of this here in a moment. It's not a play action, just 3-step by Goff. So if you're not familiar, you know, it's just 3-step concept and then getting the ball out. He's picked, if you ask me, he's picked where he's going with the football pre-snap. You can see that you've got man here, man, man, man against this 12 personnel group. Loft sit over the top, nice and soft. Great hands by Reynolds to pull that in. End zone angle coming up. Beautiful stuff. At this point, like I said, this is 4th drive. Man, Goff is just dealing. Everything is on time, except for the first one, the interception. How softly that ball is floated out there. Great touch on the throw to put it over the top. I mean, maybe it could be thrown another 8 inches more towards the sideline. Maybe, but there's a lot of contact, and he's not trying to back shoulder this. He's not trying to get this back to the sideline. You know what I mean? He's trying to float this over the top. So, like, throws probably in the 99.8th percentile, if I said that in a way that makes sense. Skip ahead, 7th drive. This is LaPorta on another 1st and 10. Pressured, flushed out of the pocket, rolling left. At this point, I was like, where's this ball going? You know, you don't get this view, they all 22, during the broadcast. And an unbelievable catch by LaPorta, who I believe LaPorta had just dropped the ball maybe 2 plays earlier over the middle, but I could be wrong. At this point, as I record this, it's like almost like 11:30 at night, Eastern Standard Time. But again, flushed out of there. I'll give you the end zone angle on this. I don't think it's a great view from the end zone. And you can see LaPorta full extension against Quay Walker. 1 or 2 plays later, he was assigned to block Walker on an F counter, and he did, and ended up being like a 7 or 8 yard gain. So just a unique player, a guy who can adapt mid-play. I mean, the talent level of players that Detroit drafted in this draft is really insane, I think. You don't see LaPorta. He's adjusted already, and Goff is throwing the football, moving to his left. Full extension, place only that LaPorta can make the catch, reaches up and gets it. I don't know about you, but that was amazing. 8th and 9th drives ended in punts. And then this one is on the 10th drive. This one was where, like, the Lions just really went into bully ball. I think Montgomery and Gibbs touched the ball 10 times on this drive. Again, it's the same formation as the play action to Reynolds earlier when he threw it, up the right sideline. That we had a mirrored image. 3-step concept, threw it over the corner's head, number 37. But this is out of 11 personnel. You got the guard pulling, and you got the running back going here. So this D-end is gone. He's chasing the run. Allows Goff to get set. Flood concept, really. You've got LaPorta into the flats. St. Brown here. I believe he came from this side, from the slot. My goodness, can't draw. I believe he came from this side from the slot, and then Reynolds is the targeted player. Goff is throwing this, I think, in only a place where only Reynolds is able to get it. Yeah, he's wide open in terms of being able to set his feet and throw. So it's like I trip off people who are like, well, he's got a clean pocket, or well, he's the pocket's moved, he's wide open. That's the design of the play. Like, what are we going to do? We're going to fault Goff for having great design of the play. We know Ben Johnson's made him better. He's making a whole lot of people better. That's why he's going to be a head coach, like very soon. End zone angle, same play. Like I said, this is 10th possession. It's 27-10. The Packers have closed down about 11 minutes in the game, somewhere around there. Goff, again, moving to his left, throws it where only Reynolds can make the catch. I don't know what Reynolds' catch percentage is this year. I don't frequently look at stats, but I feel like it warrants a look from me or anyone else. I don't know what Goff said after the game, talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick, poor man's Matt Ryan, whatever. I mean, obviously the title of the video is kind of a play on words with that, but I can't fault him. He knows how well he's playing, number one. Number two, he knows how good this team is. People are starting to find out. When you can put the run game together and you got a guy who can do stuff like this, offensive coordinator is really bright, creates a lot of space for people. I mean, they went down and closed this thing out on this 4th down run. 4th and goal from the 1. Montgomery powering in. Quay Walker's unblocked here, and Montgomery just kind of powers through him. Great football game. Getting up 24-3, 27-3. In fact, going to be 30-17. Dan Campbell takes the points off the board. He's confident with his group. Jared Goff seems really confident to me. He seems to be playing at an incredibly high level and not necessarily getting the credit for it that he deserves from people like including myself, to be honest with you. You guys, if you're Lions fans, you watch this long, first of all, thank you. Second of all, let me know what you see from Goff's play. Yeah, he's thrown 2 interceptions this year, I think. Interception this week, and then interception, I believe, last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. But he seems to be throwing the ball with the correct touch in very accurate places. Like I said, that throw to LaPorta, I mean, maybe it could be another 6-8 inches further towards the sideline, away from the defender. The one to Reynolds up the right sideline is probably exactly where Goff intended to put it, because it wasn't supposed to be a back shoulder sideline throw. He can make the laser throws. He's made deep throws downfield. He can make the smart throws, low and away, making Reynolds dive for it, but not allowing the defender an opportunity to make a play. And then now you're getting Jameson Williams back as well. Who knows how much impact he'll have early on. I'm quite sure that Ben Johnson will figure out a way to incorporate him and make that offense even more dynamic and more dangerous. You guys let me know what you think of some of the plays I broke down. I didn't just focus on Goff. I'm kind of incapable of doing that. I'm always going to try to add little comments to things I see that's related to the outcome of the play. I felt like the Packers were jumping stuff to St. Brown. Goff and the offensive staff probably realized that after the first interception and then started to use him as bait, particularly on that snag spin touchdown on the second possession, which I thought was a beautiful adaptation, but clearly by design in terms of the route. You guys let me know what you think of the video, how I broke down the plays. If you enjoy the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, commenting somewhere to help the video get more reach. If you think other Lions fans would enjoy this breakdown, this film study of Jared Goff from Week 4, then please consider grabbing a link, sharing it on somewhere on social media to help this content get more reach.